From your phone? Okay. Sound too out there?
Talk. So you got to monitor both. Occasionally check the questions.
So YouTube, I don't see it.
The Hollywood Israelites.
I did. Yeah, I heard
Get that in.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. You both.
If the brothers could come on.
Hey, I can. The brothers, come on.
Why are you about to put the screen?
No,
No, he's not doing that right now.
I would sit down.
Let's get it. So Shalom Israel, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Barakatah, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bashim Yahweh Shai, to all the brothers and all the sisters, I.S.U.P.K Cali. Of course, it's the Wednesday night law class. We are now live from Facebook and YouTube. Give the Lord a hand. You know what I mean? So like and subscribe. Hollywood Israelites is our new page. Going live from there. All classes, all interviews, all updates is where we'll be going live from. So, you know, you can watch it on your TV now at home, you know what I'm saying? Chill out, get you little snacks and goodies and watch a priest, you know what I'm saying? Learn something, educate yourself. Like and share the classes, of course. Like I said, once again, like and subscribe to all avenues, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Promote this truth, get it out there, right? So we're going to continue on the account of Joshua. You know, last week I was in Vegas, so this is something I'm doing out here for Cali. You know what I'm saying? We're doing the account of Joshua, you know what I'm saying? A valiant man, a righteous brother. And it's just good to see the things from aforetime. You know what I mean? It's good to read about them. It's good to become educated and mindful of the things that that was written aforetime, and understand that in Joshua it's a strong story because you get the wars. You get to see some of the wars Joshua did. You get to see the trickery some of them tried to pull, and it's a good account. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that you should read and learn and educate yourself on. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you about to do that right now? Okay, fine. I want to say class on the show. Okay, so who can remind me or give the class an update on what's been going on from what we've been going on previously? Go ahead.
Okay, so previously we last thing to be honest I remember is that
I'll be back.
Okay, come on, sir.
Is that Joshua found out that a Judite brother that stole or had basically disobeyed God, and that when they went to battle, that basically God wasn't with them at that time because it was a sin that was created. and he stole something or some garments, some garments and other items, and basically put it in the it, and then Joshua found out that it was the Israelite brother. He burnt his family, his tent, and everything.
Right. Most High in Christ. It was a trick. What the brother did, because look, the Lord. That's excellent. You remember that, because that's a heavy account, because one brother can mess it up for everybody. Right. You see what I'm saying? One brother can mess it up for everybody, and it'd be to the downfall of Israel. You see what I mean? That's why it's a point for all of us to be on one accord, all of us to be one body, because one slip up, we all slip up. You know what I'm saying? The brother had took something when the Lord had told him to don't take anything, destroy it all. Keep the silver and gold and iron and brass, keep that for yourselves, but destroy everything. He's speaking of Joshua, the 7th chapter, for those who don't know. Right? The Lord told him to destroy it all. And he didn't. He got greedy and tried to spoil himself and end up hurting his brothers in the next war that we have to fight. Right. And so we go to this next war, and it's a smaller amount of army. You know, the Jericho war, it was a bigger army. This city, AI, was a smaller city, and we was losing men. And at that moment, that's how you know Joshua was a man of the Lord, because at that moment Joshua knew, oh, the Lord must be against us, because the Lord told Joshua what? Go ahead.
That basically, if we disobeyed him, he wasn't going to be with us no more.
No, I'm talking about what did the Lord tell Joshua back when he first gave him the reins to rule? What did he tell him?
Follow God, and he shall prosper.
He told him, Slocky, he told me, yeah, he told him, be thou prosperous, be thou strong and of good courage, right. And I'm gonna subdue everybody on this side of the Jordan for you. You're gonna overcome them. So when Joshua knew that, when he seen that we was losing, he said, oh, something must be wrong. Because the Lord told me, I know the Lord not a liar, the Lord told me that we gonna win these wars. It ain't gonna be no losing. So why are we losing? You see what I'm saying? So that's how Joshua knew, like, okay, something's going on here. Something's happening to where the Lord is against us, and he wants to go pray. And he went back, tore off his clothes, and prayed to the Lord and said, why are you doing this to us? Right? And so then, of course, Joshua knew it, and the Lord told him, hey, somebody trespassed against me. It's a defiled thing in the camp of Israel, and I told you that when somebody brings something that's defiled, I'll be against y'all. You see what I'm saying? Right. And so that's how Joshua knew from that point. And that's what it was. You see what I'm saying? That's where we left off. We're gonna recap that real quick. Just give me Joshua 7. Let's start towards the end of that chapter, just to recap people on what I'm talking about right now. Oh yeah, start at 10. Right? Go ahead.
Joshua, chapter 7, verse 10. And the Lord said unto Joshua, get thee up, wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face?
Right, so the Lord told Joshua, get up, because this is right when Joshua rinsed his clothes. When he seen us losing and dying, he rinsed his clothes and said, and the Lord told Joshua, get thee up. Right? Go ahead.
Israel hath sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I command them.
Right. Israel has sinned and has transgressed my covenant. Right? Go ahead.
For they have even taken of the accursed thing.
Right. They took something that they weren't supposed to take. Right? Go ahead.
And have also stolen and dissembled also.
Go ahead.
And they have put it even among their own stuff.
Right. So they took something that I told them not to take, and they put it as if it was theirs. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 12. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies.
That's why you losing the war. Because you took something that I told you not to take, and you took it and you try to make it as if it was your own and hide it. And now that's why you can't. That's why your enemy is overcoming you. That's why you losing this war, this battle that you fighting right now. Right? So then now the Lord telling him that he's gonna give him the solution. Go ahead, continue.
So like, therefore, start from verse 4.
Yeah, go ahead, read it over.
Therefore, the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies because they were accursed.
Now the Lord is telling you why you fled. You fled because you was accursed. Because you chose to do something and go against my orders. That's why you're losing this war against these people.
Right.
Right? That's what he's telling them. And Joshua, took heed to that. And what did Joshua do? We're going to drop down to verse 16.
Oh, God, sorry.
This is just recapping. We just recapping what we went over. Because I know this is 2 weeks out since I did this last class. We're going to recap what we went over. Go ahead. Right. Like and share the class. Like and share the class. We live on YouTube and Facebook. Hollywood Israelites. Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge on Facebook, Hollywood Israelites on YouTube. Like and subscribe to all avenues, man. Promote this truth. Get it out there. Go ahead.
Joshua chapter 7, verse 16. So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribe. And the tribe of Judah was taken. And he brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of Zahari.
Zabadi? Hold on, wait. Zaharites. Zaharites. You can say it like that. However you say it. Go ahead. Keep reading.
And he took the family of the Zaharites, and he brought the family of the Zaharites man by man. And Zabadi was taken.
Right. Go ahead.
And he brought his household man by man, and Achan.
Nah. Yeah, Achan.
Okay. And Achan, the son of Carmi, and the son of Zabadi, the son of Zerah, and the tribe of Judah was taken.
Right.
And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel.
So look, what he did was, this is sum it up. What he did was a process of elimination. He did a process of elimination. He found out, okay, it's somebody from the tribe of Judah. He brought the families from the tribe of Judah. Found out, okay, it's not this family, it's not this family, it's this family. Boom. Now he did the process of elimination. He found out who it was, found out the family, questioned all the sons, found out who it was, the son. He found out the man that took it, right? And when he found out the man that took it, he said, hey, give glory to the Lord. Stop having your brothers and sisters out here getting killed. Admit your wrong and suffer the judgment that you got to suffer. Be a man about it. See what I'm saying? Stop having your brothers who's innocent die, and you take your judgment, and so Israel may live. Give glory to the Lord, right? And what did he say?
And make confession unto him.
And make confession, meaning come clean, right? Right. Go ahead.
And tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God.
Right, and he confessed. He said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord. I've done wrong, which was the righteous thing to do. Come clean, don't hide nothing, don't be this lying. You already been found out. Right. The righteous thing to do was just listen in the first place. But you already been found out. Now you're gonna keep lying on top of lies. It makes you more of a dirty bastard. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And the brother came clean because he understood. Like, damn, we are losing because of me. We are suffering because I'm wrong. That's why you got to be a brother that is right, and be a brother that is. It's unbrotherly for him to have done something like that because we all suffer. That's like us going out to war, and the next brother steals something, and now me and our lives is taken from that. You know what I'm saying? Our lives is down because of this brother. That brother got to come clean. You see what I'm saying? That's brotherhood. But it would have been more brotherly if he would have just listened in the first place. That's why you always got to be disciplined and follow orders to the T. Don't slack off and not following no orders. You don't know what's the consequences of the murders. Even if you do know the consequences of the murders, you know what I'm saying? Why disobey the order? You just gonna be a tyrant, brother? You know what I mean?
Right.
But go ahead, continue.
Indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done.
Right. And this, like basically what he's saying, this is what I have done.
Okay.
He's saying I have sinned against the Lord, and this is what I did. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 21. When I saw among the spoils of goodly baby Babylonish garment and 200 shekels of silver and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them and took them.
Right. So he said when we was going through and spoiling the Babylonian city, I seen a garment that was nice and I took it. I seen some money and I took it. Basically, right? And drop down to 25.
Joshua chapter 7, verse 25. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us?
Right. Why have you troubled us over some gold and silver and garments? Right? Go ahead.
The Lord shall trouble thee this day.
Right.
And all Israel stoned him with stones.
Right. So the Lord, he said, why have you done this? If we read a couple verses up, they brought everything that their brother owned. And they brought it with them and they stoned everything. Right? And that's why you as a brother, you got to be right, because your children will suffer the consequences of your actions. Everything that is in your circle, in your parameter, your children, everybody will suffer the consequences of your actions. That's why you got to be a brother that's disciplined in everything that he does. And everything that he does, because you don't want your baby girls to suffer. You don't want your wives to suffer. Neither do I. You know what I'm saying? Brothers got beautiful families. They don't want nobody to suffer. Your woman, that's why it lets you know that the Lord is dealing with the man and the woman is under the man. You see what I'm saying? Because what that man does affects his family. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you got to be righteous for your family. You see what I mean? But read 25 one more time. Any questions online, drop them in the comment section. You know what I mean? Drop them in the comment section. We'll ask any questions. If y'all have any, just raise your hand. We'll get to them. Go ahead.
Verse 25. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones and burnt them with fire. After they had stoned them with stones.
So all Israel stoned them with stones. They killed that brother and burnt him with fire. Right? And now we got the issue out the way. We still in the middle of a war. You see, we still in the middle. We fighting against these people. We didn't give them a big morale boost right now. You know, morale in war is very heavy. You know, troops don't feel like they can win. They're not gonna go out there with the confidence to win. You got brothers that know that the Lord is on their side and that we gonna conquer this city. You go out there gun ho, got energy, adrenaline pumping, rushing, and you going straight forward. But then when you got you didn't see brothers dying, you heard what Joshua has told you and how you gonna prosper in these wars, and the Lord gonna be with you, and y'all see that y'all losing, the morale drops. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like we solved the issue to get the Lord back on our side. Now it's back to business because they're gonna be coming for us. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna be they hyped up now. Are we knocked down? We killing the Israelites that the strong Egyptians couldn't kill, that the Babylonians back at Jericho couldn't kill, and we're just a small city and we taking them down. Oh, they hyped up over there. Oh, yeah, they hyped up over there. And let's see what's gonna happen in chapter 8. Let's go. Chapter 8.
Joshua chapter 7 Joshua chapter 8 verse 1. And the Lord said unto Joshua, fear not, neither be thou dismayed.
Right. So the Lord told Joshua, look, fear not. Because Joshua still, he's like, okay, I handled the issue, but is the Lord still going to be with us? That's the constant thing that us brothers, like, brothers in the truth go through, our brothers in the, brothers be like, damn, okay, is the Lord gonna be with me? Is the Lord with me now? But the Lord, the Lord always gonna comfort you and let you know that He with you. You know what I'm saying? And just like He did to Joshua right now. Go ahead.
Of war with thee and arise.
He said, "Fear not, Joshua." It's the Lord coming to him strong. Hey, fear. Cause look, he was down there, sad and hurt. Crying to the Lord. Lord told him, "Get up." You got to see what type of. That's why I said Joshua's a perfect account. You see how the Lord deals with me. Lord, he's crying. What do we do? Asking for forgiveness. I'm not sure exact words to say it, but you got to think he's down on his face. The Lord told Joshua, "Get up. Why are you even crying? Why are you down here? Y'all did wrong, so I'm punishing y'all." You know what I'm saying? That's what the Lord's saying to Joshua. And now the Lord's telling him, "Get up, fear not. So I'm with you again." Right? Go ahead, continue.
Take all the people of war with thee and arise.
Right, because remember, Joshua was only sending out platoons of men about, he was breaking up his big number of brothers, and he was sending out platoons to go strike this small city. He didn't think that he had them, because he sent out a scout. The scout scouted the city and told them, "Oh, it's just a small city. We don't need all our whole army to go with us." But now the Lord said, "Take all your men of war," right?
Right.
And you're going to see in this chapter right here, you're going to see how the Lord is a perfect strategist. Look, his strategy is on point. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Go up to Ai.
Mm-hmm.
See, I have given into thy hand the king of Ai, and his people, and his city, and his land.
He said, "I'm giving you this city. Go back over there, and because I'm giving you this city." Right? Go ahead, continue.
Verse 2. And thou shalt do to Ai and her kings as thou didst unto Jericho, and her kings.
And we know what we did to Jericho, right?
Oh God.
Utterly destroyed that place. Didn't take no captives.
Right.
No hostages. Because the Lord told us not to, right? Go ahead.
Only the spoil thereof and the cattle thereof shall ye take for a prey unto yourselves.
Right. So now the Lord is telling him what they can take again. So I remember the brother Ramak asked it last time. Do we take women sometimes, or what can we take? Do we always take captive slaves? And I told him, the Lord tells you what you can take from this right here. The Lord tells you kill everything, don't take nothing, don't take a goddamn thing, kill everything. Right. If the Lord tell you take all the gold and the cattle, take all the gold and take the cattle. Don't take the silver, take all the gold, like he said. You know what I mean? He's telling you it for a reason. You know what I mean? Go ahead, sir.
And you're so right, Priest, because that's what he told the Israelites. And one of the sons, I believe his name was Akkad, he went and got all the garments from that heathen nation.
Right, we just went over that.
Oh, okay. So
we just went over that, yeah. That's what we read. It's just talking about, the brother took that, and we was losing the war. We still on that. That's chapter 7. We on this right now, chapter 8. Yeah, the brother took that, and now we was losing the war because he didn't follow the order.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's why I was telling brothers it's important to follow these orders. Definitely when it's coming from a man above you, and it's coming, and most likely it's coming from the men above you, it's coming from the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead, sir.
And always pay attention to specific. Be specific with the order that you get from the Lord. The Lord ain't taking it if you just did this or half of that. You gotta be 100%.
Come, sir, come. Go ahead, continue.
Lay thee in ambush for the city behind it.
Right. So, read this verse from the top one more time. This is going into the strategy that the Lord is giving Joshua.
And verse 2, and thou shalt do to Ai and her kings as thou didst unto Jericho and her kings.
Right.
Only the spoil thereof and the cattle thereof shall ye take for a prey unto yourselves.
So the spoil will be what? Anybody?
Money.
Go ahead, raise your hand. Go ahead.
Money.
The money. Kind of. It will be like the gold and silver. You take the spoil thereof and the cattle. Remember last time in Jericho, what did we take? The brass, the iron, the silver and gold as well, like the metals. Right. Now he's saying, all right, look, only take the gold and the silver and the cattle. You see what I'm saying? It's a different order at this city that we captured. You see what I mean? So go ahead and continue. And he said, oh wait, hold on. It's another part. He said, you're gonna take this city for yourselves, but we're gonna ambush them. Right? That's the plan for this one. Remember, the last plan was for the walls of Jericho to march around the city for 6 days, and on the 7th day, shout with a great shout, knock down the city. That was that plan. This plan, okay, we're gonna ambush them. Right. The Lord's coming up with this plan. Right? Go ahead, continue.
Lay thee an ambush for the city behind it.
Right. So send some soldiers behind the city. Go ahead.
Verse 3. So Joshua arose and all the people of war to go up against Ai.
Right. So Joshua rose up with his soldiers and said, look, well, the army of the Lord said, look, we're going to go. He told them the plan. The Lord told Joshua the plan. Now Joshua was giving the order. Right?
That's right. That's right.
That's how it goes. Right? Go ahead.
And Joshua chose out 30,000 mighty men of valor.
Ooh-wee. 30,000 coming through. You know what I'm saying? 30,000 strong, mighty men of valor coming to take a city. Oh, you know that's a scary sight. Right. You know that's a scary sight. They get scared when they see 5 brothers from the U.P.K. walking down the street. You know what I'm saying? Imagine 30,000 that was marching down to take over New York or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be, ooh-wee. They're going to run up in there and they're going to throw out. They're going to run up in there and they're going to tuck tail and run. That's what AI did. Go on, continue.
And sent them away by night.
Mm-hmm.
And he commanded them, saying, behold, ye shall lie in wait against the city, even behind the city. Go not very far from the city, but be ye already.
Read that again, that last part. But what?
But be ye already.
But be ye already. So they say he sent them out one day. They stayed overnight. He said, don't go too far. Stay close. But be ready. Right? There's 30,000 soldiers behind the city. Wait. He said, be ready. Right? Go ahead, continue.
Verse 5. And I and all the people that are with me will approach unto the city. And it shall come to pass when they come out against us as at the first, that we will flee before them.
Right. All right, hold on. Somebody dropped a question in the YouTube. I'm gonna get to it real quick. Somebody give me 2 Timothy 3:16. The question is 2 Timothy 3:16. It's like it. Swap. Who were you at? And Joshua, Swap, can you put that for me?
2 Timothy, what's that?
3:16. Who were you at? I don't want you to lose your spot. The brother question is Juan Aguas. It's like I don't want to mess up your last name. It's just Juan. He said, how does this apply to us today? Right? I'm gonna show you how it applies to us today. Because it's like the first reason why it applies to us today, because you get to learn your history of where you come from and who you were, right? Another thing is when brothers and sisters like me and myself, we read the accounts of the Bible, it inspires us. It makes us feel good. It makes us give us a sense of it revitalizes our spirits. You know what I'm saying? It makes us know that this, because we walk around here destroyed, losing every single day of your life. And to hear of some victories that you gained and that your ancestors was these great people, it builds up your spirit and makes men become warriors and makes sisters respect their husbands. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is why what we're reading right now is valid for us today. Go ahead, Swap. 2 Timothy 3:16.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. All scripture is given.
Wait, hold on, wait. Read that one more time. All what?
All scripture.
All scripture. Go ahead.
Is given by inspiration of God.
Right. All scripture is given by inspiration of God. Right. Go ahead.
And is profitable.
And is profitable. This is what the scripture, why Joshua 8 is important, because it's profitable for what?
For doctrine.
For doctrine, to teach you. Go ahead.
For reproof.
For correction. Go ahead.
for correction.
Oh, go for reproof, for education. Slocky, go ahead.
For instruction in righteousness.
For instruction in righteousness, because you can learn about what we just read. That brother that took something and didn't follow the order, you can learn that how to follow a goddamn order to the T. You can learn that because now you walk around here undisciplined, can't follow nothing. But it'll teach you something in the long run. You can learn how if you don't listen to the Lord, this is what happens. If you listen to the Lord, this is what happens.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 17. That the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
Right. So this is why we're reading about Joshua, and it applies to us today because it's an account of your people. It's a history lesson. You see in brothers keep the law, you see in brothers follow orders, and it's a scripture that's profitable to you for doctrine, reproof, correction, instruction. You see what's right and what brothers did. And it's kind of like how you got children and you done had your life experiences and you tell them something so they don't got to make the same mistake. That's why it's important to learn. What's that other precept? Look to the generations of the old. Oh, dang, hold on, wait. The things that are written aforetime, written for our learning. Romans, it's like, oh, let me find that too. This is a perfect precept for this. Really. Romans 15:4, right? So all scripture is given us for correction, reproof, and instruction, paraphrasing. And then now Romans 15:4.
We'll read, sir.
Romans
chapter 15, verse 4. For whosoever things
read it one more time.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Right. So the things that are written in the past, or the things that are written in Joshua, Exodus, Deuteronomy, Leviticus, and whatnot, Genesis, were written for your learning. It's important for you to learn and learn about what happened. You see what I'm saying? Just like 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved, right? You got to study and know the things that are written aforetime. You don't ever know the mistakes that your forefathers made. It's not going to help you. You're going to make the same damn mistakes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's not going to help you. But if you know the mistakes that they made and how Israelites then did and sinned against the Lord, it'll stop you from sinning against the Lord. You can think back and be like, okay, dang, this happened to him when he did that. So I'm not going to do the same thing because that might happen to me. You see what I'm saying? Right. That should answer your question. I'll get back to the slide and say.
And then you got Deuteronomy 32:7.
Pull that. Deuteronomy 32:7.
But you got too much of the young disrespecting the old. When you can learn from the old. So
right.
Read this, sir.
Yeah, Baba Shah.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old.
Right.
Consider the years of many generations as thy father. And he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee.
That's it?
Yes, sir. That's
what we're saying. Look to the generations of the old, and you're going to learn something, basically. You're going to learn, you're going to see what they told their sons, and it's going to tell you something, and it's going to benefit you. You see what I'm saying? Just like my children going to learn from my mistakes. They're not going to make the same mistakes because I'm going to tell them, and I'm going to teach them the right way. And look, if I didn't go through that life experience, best believe it was an Israelite before you that went through that life experience, and the account is 9 times out of 10 inside the Bible, and you can learn from what they did and how the Lord dealt with them. You see what I'm saying? Right. But go ahead, get back to that, Joshua. That should answer your question of how did this apply to today? All scripture applies to today. All scripture is profitable for learning and for doctrine. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead. If you want something that makes you feel good, if you want something that you want a motivational speech, you should go to the Christian church. They doing that every Sunday, all day, every day. You know what I mean? But we're gonna give you something that's real and that's gonna help you learn. That's really gonna benefit you. That's gonna renew your spirit through the washing of your mind through the word. Ephesians 4:26, right? Go ahead. Right. Joshua, come.
Joshua chapter 8, verse 6. For they will come out after us till we have drawn them from the city.
Right. So I'm gonna repaint the picture for y'all. So right now, what's going on is we set the brothers in for the ambush. Basically, this was happening. Picture the city in front of you, right? We gonna come in front of them and draw them out. We got brothers waiting there, 30,000 brothers waiting behind them to attack. You see what I'm saying? So we gonna hit them from both sides. That's what the Lord is telling them. I'm gonna draw them out. Now we gonna have your brother, the other brother that's been waiting that whole night. We gonna have them coming attacking from the back, right? Go ahead, continue.
For they will say, they flee before us as at the first.
Right. So we gonna make it look like we gonna run away from them. We gonna make it look like we gonna run away. We gonna run. They gonna chase us. Right. That's what's gonna happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Therefore we will flee before them.
Mm-hmm.
Then ye shall rise up from the ambush and seize upon the city.
Right. So we gonna pull all the soldiers out from the city. They're gonna be chasing us. Y'all take the city, and then we're gonna get the brothers that we not the brothers, Salaki, the heathens that we drawn out. Right.
Right.
Go ahead.
For the Lord your God will deliver it into your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be when ye have taken the city, that ye shall set the city on fire.
Burn it. Burn the whole goddamn thing. Go ahead.
According to the commandment of the Lord shall ye do.
Right. The Lord is giving an order, and you shall do it. Right?
Right.
Go ahead.
See, I have commanded you. Joshua therefore sent them forth, and they went to lie in ambush.
Right. So now the Joshua broke it down to him. This is how the Lord broke it down to him. He said, "Now go do it," and the brothers did it. Right. Go ahead.
And the abode between Bethel.
Abode.
Mm-hmm. And abode between Bethel and Ai on the west side of Ai.
Mm-hmm.
But Joshua lodged that night among the people.
Mm-hmm.
And Joshua rose up early in the morning and numbered the people, and went up he and the elders of Israel before the people to Ai.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11. And all the people, even the people of war that were with them, went up and drew nigh and came before the city and pitched on the north side of Ai.
Right.
Now there was a valley between them and Ai.
Right. So y'all following what's going on, right? Or I'll break it down. You got a question? Go ahead.
Just the last part. The valley. What does that mean?
They're basically describing the landscape. You're basically saying, okay, we came closer to the city, so they can kind of like see us, and we left that trench. It's a trench basically between. It's like a valley between them and us.
Okay.
So if they was to come, we can see them coming.
Okay.
It's kind of like we baiting them. You get what I'm saying? We baiting them. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And he took about 5,000 men and set them to lie in ambush between Bethel and Ai on the west side of the city. And when they had set the people, even all the host that was on the north of the city, and their liars in wait of the west of the city, Joshua went that night into the midst of the valley.
Right. 14.
And it came to pass, when the king of Ai saw it.
Right. Now the bait. He saw it. And look, he fell for it. So we just playing out in the open. You know what I'm saying? We playing weak right now, right? Playing them out in the open. But Joshua's smart. He left a valley in between so we can see them when they start to come. Right? Go ahead.
That they hasted and rose up early, and the men of the city went out against Israel to battle.
Right. So they seen it and they moved in haste. Like I told y'all, their morale was up. They was like, okay, we gotta finish them off. Right? They moved in haste. They were trying to hurry up and come kill us. Right? Go ahead. They rose up early in the morning against Israel to battle. Go ahead.
He and all his people at a time appointed before the plan. But he wist not that there were liars in ambush against him behind the city.
Right. So he wist not, meaning he knew not that there was Israelites behind him in the city. Right. Go ahead.
And Joshua and all Israel made as if they were beaten before them, and fled by the way of the wilderness.
Right. So they left. They fled. They made it seem like they played everything right now is going according to plan. Right.
Right.
They left. They fled. Like, act like they was beaten up and act like they was, scared. They left, drawing everybody out. Right. And this is why the plans of the Lord. This is why the Lord is perfect. This is why the plans of the Lord, you follow him to the T, because he knows what's going on. And when the Lord God, mighty God of Israel, the God, the creator of heaven and earth, land and sea, and all things living, is with you, can't nobody, nothing, I don't care if they got a motherfucking plasma gun, Salakia.
Right.
That's not going to stop what the Lord set up for you to accomplish. You see what I'm saying? The
Right.
Lord said he's going to take him as a whole army of robo-armored, that whole futuristic stuff, and you just got sticks and stones and slingshots. You better take that city with strength, because the Lord said you're going to take it. You see what I mean?
Right.
And you will overcome, because the Most High power is with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 16. And all the people that were in Ai were called together to pursue after them. And they pursued after Joshua and were drawn away from the city.
Right.
And there was not a man left in Ai or Bethel.
So everybody got drawn off from the city. Was no man left. They took all their men to war. Everybody wanted a piece of that. They wanted to feel that glory of killing the Israelites.
Right.
Killing, destroying the Lord's people. They wanted to feel that glory. They didn't leave not one man. That means the young boys was gone, everything. They didn't leave not one. They all wanted a part of it, right?
Right.
They taking their sons. Come on, son, you gonna get some glory today. Nah, you ain't. Go ahead, continue.
That's right.
Go ahead. You got a question?
I think your connection went off.
On the Facebook?
Yeah. It says, "What's on your mind?" Well, try pressing back.
It says it looks like it's still going. Yes, this is I'm live.
Okay. I know I just seen a picture up there, so it went on.
Go ahead, continue. It'll tell me in a second.
Pursue after Israel. So it was on 17. Okay. All right, verse 17. And there was not a man left in Ai or Bethel that went not out after Israel, and they left the city open and pursued after Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said unto Joshua, stretch out the spear that is in thy hand towards Ai.
Right, stretch out the spear that's in thy hand towards Ai.
For I will give it into thine hand. And Joshua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand towards the city.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I hate when this happens. What's going on? Let me back up now. Okay, go ahead. Continue, because I know we live from still live from YouTube.
Do you want me to read 18 again?
Yeah, read it again. It's for those who missed it.
Verse 18. And the Lord said unto Joshua, stretch out the spear that is in thine hand towards Ai, for I will give it into thine hand. And Joshua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand towards the city.
Right.
And the ambush arose quickly out of their place.
Right. So Joshua spread out his hand, his spear in his hand, and the ambush started happening. Right.
Right.
Go ahead.
And they ran as soon as he had stretched out his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And they entered into the city and took it, and hasted.
Right. Go ahead.
And hasted and set the city on fire. Verse 20.
One option is Cal Fire San Bernardino Unit, HDQS on North Sea. Is that the
Who that, Siri?
Yeah, she started saying her name.
Siri trying to get this truth. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can turn off my phone.
Siri trying to get the truth. She said, what? I'll find that piece of right now.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's likely.
No, you good. Go ahead.
Verse 20.
Hold on, wait. Salakia for y'all, the technical difficulty, the Facebook crash. If you could, like and share the class again. This happened last week, but we're going to get it in. If you're not, get on that Hollywood Israelites YouTube page. We're live right now from there. If this crash, you can always jump right over there to there. That's most likely 9 times out of 10 not going to crash, right?
Right.
Go ahead, continue.
Verse 20. And when the men of Ai looked behind them, they saw, and behold, the smoke of the city ascended up to the heaven.
Right, so they running after Israelites to go kill them that's running away. And they looked behind and said, our city on fire. It's burning up. Like, what's going on? Right?
Right.
Right.
Go ahead.
And they had no power to flee this way or that way.
Right. So they was like, what do we do? They was confused. Do we go get the city or do we get them? And they're like, it's over. They knew they got. By that time they knew that it was over, right?
Right.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the people fled, and the people that fled to the wilderness turned back upon the pursuers.
Mm-hmm.
And when Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, and that the smoke of the city ascended, then they turned again and slew the men of Ai.
So the pursuers decided, okay, go back to the city. And so when Joshua and them seen that they was running from us, they turned around and was killing them on their way back to the city.
Oh, wow.
You see what I'm saying? So like they was like so you got pursuers chasing Israelites. Boom, they're chasing them. They see that their city getting burned, they turn back around, go back this way. Joshua and his people are like, okay, the plan working. Let's go get them. They start killing the pursuers as they're going on. So by the time the pursuers that make it to the city got to deal with 30,000 men that ain't tired, they just burnt the city. There was nobody in it. You see what I'm saying? There was nobody in it to defend it. So you got 30,000 brothers that's not fatigued from running or nothing, ready to kill the rest of them. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 22. And the other issued out of the city against them. So they were in the midst of Israel, some of this side and some of that side.
Right. Go ahead.
And they smote them.
Right. Killed them. Go ahead.
So that they let none of them remain or escape.
Mm-hmm.
And the king of Ai, they took alive and brought him to Joshua.
And so they brought the king to Joshua's feet. Go ahead. And what they do to this king?
And it came to pass, when Israel had made an end of slaying all the inhabitants of Ai in the field, in the wilderness, wherein they chased them, and when they were all fallen on the edge of the sword, until they were consumed, that all the Israelites returned unto Ai and smote it with the edge of the sword.
Mm-hmm. So they made the king sit back and watch his people die, and they killed him. Right? Go ahead.
And so it was that all that fell that day, both of man and woman, were 12,000, even all the men of Ai. For Joshua drew not his hand back, wherewith he stretched out the spear until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants of Ai.
So Joshua out there the whole time since the Lord told Joshua hold that spear out. Joshua out there the whole time like this.
That's right.
Holding it strong the whole time. Everybody dying. I mean, the whole time the war's going on, Joshua out there just like this, holding it strong until he seen that it was done. And he let his hand down. You see what I'm saying? Then he was like, okay, it's done.
Right.
Lord told him to stretch out that spear and take the city. He kept his hand up until the city was taken. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying Joshua is a brother that you can learn something from. True soldier.
That's right.
True soldier, man of the Lord. Loved his people, cared for his people. You see what I'm saying? But was a brother that was not going to take no slack. He came up under Moses. You see what I'm saying? He came up under Moses. He learned, like, okay, I see how this goes. I see how this is. And now the reins is in his hands. And he's like, all right, we're going to run this and we're going to run it right. Moses had the duty of teaching the people. Joshua had to teaching the people and leading them. Joshua had the duty of leading the people and building up men of war, because what he had to go through, his whole account is about warfare. That's why we're getting it. This whole account is about warfare, because now is the high time to learn about somebody who did some war, because war is going to start popping off. And you need to know your spirit needs to be right. You need to think of the times of Joshua and think of the times of we took cities by a shout. We took cities with the Lord with us. You see what I'm saying? Right. You need to learn about this stuff because it's about to start popping off. It's about to start going down. The Lord's about to start plaguing this place, and it's about to get worse than it was that have you ever seen in your whole life. You see what I mean? Right. And you need to be prepared for it. Right. And you need to have at least an educational background on how you win wars as an Israelite. You're not going to win no goddamn war without the Lord on your side. You see what I'm saying? That's why the I.S.U.P.K tells you, get in the truth and serve the Lord. Because then, like we read in Joshua 1, for then I will make thy ways prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, not to be dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with you whithersoever you go. But what did you have to do before that? He said, meditate on my law, keep my commandments. Right. That's what we teach you. Keep the Lord's commandments, and then when it's your time, the Lord will be with you, and we will conquer the whole world. And we will bring our King YAHANNA back, and he will come back, and it's going to be a glorious set for you. He's going to see men that love him, men that love the Lord, and men that's on the same zone. Go ahead. Where you at?
Verse 27, sir.
Go ahead. Continue.
Verse 27. Only the cattle and the spoil of that city Israel took for a prey unto themselves, according unto the word of the Lord, which he had commanded Joshua. And Joshua burnt Ai and made it an heap forever, even a desolation unto this day.
Right. Then what Joshua do? After he conquered the city, what Joshua do?
Verse 29, and the kings of Ai he hanged on a tree until eventide.
Right, he hung the king. Right? Drop down to 30.
Okay. Verse 30, then Joshua built an altar unto the Lord God of Israel in Mount Ebal.
Right? So after he conquered the city, he gave thanks to the Lord, built him an altar. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 31, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded the children of Israel, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses.
Right.
An altar of whole stones, over which no man hath lift up any iron.
Right. So, if you know, the Lord told the Lord told Moses, build me an altar of stone. You know what I'm saying? Build me an altar of stone, and don't lift no tool upon it, for you to defile my altar. Right. So, what did Joshua do? He kept the traditions that he was taught. Right.
Right.
Go ahead, continue.
And they offered thereon burnt offerings unto the Lord, and sacrificed peace offerings.
Right, go 30. Go ahead, continue.
And he wrote there upon the stones a copy of the law of Moses.
Right. So he inscribed on these stones with the laws, right? On these stones. Right, go ahead.
Which he wrote in the presence of the children of Israel.
He did it in front of their faces. Right, go away, drop down to 34.
Verse 34. And afterwards he read all the words of the law, the blessings and the curses, according to all that is written in the book of the law.
Right. Oh, slightly. So what chapter did he read? The blessings and the curses. Where that's at? Go ahead. Deuteronomy 28. He wrote Deuteronomy 28 out for all Israel to see. See what I'm saying? Because why would he do that? Why would he write out the blessings and the curses for all Israel to see? Go ahead.
To let them know, basically, if you disobey God, all these things will happen.
So let them know that, look, this is what you can achieve when you listen to the Lord. We just won a war. This is what you can achieve when you listen to the Lord.
Right.
And this is what will happen to you when you don't listen to the Lord. And you gotta think of what just happened before we went into this war. The brother stole something, and we was getting killed. So he had to remind the people again. That's what a leader does. That, you know what I'm saying? A leader has his tactics and has his ways of how he leads. And he said, I'm gonna remind the people again to listen to the Lord. Because when you don't listen, look what happened. We die. When you do listen, look what happened. We live.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And he said, these are the laws, statutes, and commandments. He wrote them out and told them, reminded them of the oath that they took. Sometimes you got to be reminded of your oath. You know what I'm saying? You get kind of complacent. You get blindsided. Brothers in here in the U.P.K, we take an oath to the Lord. Always remember that. You know what I'm saying? Always remember the oath you took to the Lord your God. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nobody make you take this oath. You did it on your own free will. So right. You will suffer the consequences of breaking that oath on your own free will. And the judgments that come upon you will be harsh. They will be bad. And that's why we tell you liable to die. Because the Lord will kill you just like he killed a cow. You see what I'm saying? That's why you take everything in serving the Lord. You do it with courage, you do it with honor, you do it with might, you do it with diligence. You see what I'm saying? And you serve the Lord, and you love the Lord, and in return, the Lord will love you and bless you. It ain't the other way around. The Lord should be blessing me to make me serve him. You should be serving him in order to get the blessing, as the Lord said.
Right.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't serve, the Lord don't serve you, you serve the Lord. You know what I mean? Like, that's backwards thing. That's how Christians think, though. You know what I mean? That's how they think. They think that the Lord is supposed to serve me. The Lord is, am I lying? Like, the Lord's supposed to serve me. That's how I go. Go ahead.
Yeah, Christians will say, I got a personal relationship with God.
Right. And he's supposed to give me anything I want. Go ahead, somebody else want to say?
And they treat Christ like he a genie. They treat the Most High like he's just a genie.
Yeah, they go like this. 3 wishes, please. Like, nah, it don't work like that. The Lord said, keep my commandments, and then I'll make your ways prosperous. The Lord wants your obedience. He don't want your disobedience. He don't want nobody to think that they God. Think that they are somebody. You know what I'm saying? Humble yourself. Understand your position and who you are. Right? Where we at? Go 34.
35.
35. Go ahead, read that.
Verse 35. There was not a word of all that Moses commanded, which Joshua read not before all the congregation of Israel.
Right. So Joshua had a big class, basically. And he reminded them of the laws of Moses. Right? So like the brother's question, well, how does this apply to today? We going back and reading other things that happened aforetime.
Right.
Just like Joshua was doing. He went back and reminded the people of a history lesson, basically. Just like you need to be reminded. Because did you know this before you logged into class? I remember the first time I brought up the Joshua account, I said, who know about Joshua? Brothers didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Not to throw shade or anything, but brothers didn't know.
Right. This
is why you need to know. So the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning. Right? Go ahead. So he read the laws of the Moses He read the laws of Moses to all the children of Israel, right?
Right. With the women and the little ones and the strangers that were conservant among them.
Right. So all those servants that we had, they heard the laws of the Lord too, and the women and the children. That's why I say bring your family to class if you got a family. Bring everybody to class if you could, or a high holy day or Sabbath service, something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Pick it up where the brother left off. Somebody. Right. Go ahead and with this.
Joshua 8:9. So that's correct.
Joshua 8:30. Yeah, 9:1.
Joshua 9.
And it's like any questions online, any questions in the room, ask them, type them in. We'll get to it. Right? Go ahead, continue.
Joshua chapter 9, verse 1. And it came to pass when all the kings which were on this side, Joshua 9, chapter 1. And it came to pass when all the kings which were on this side Jordan, in the hills and in the valleys, and in all the coasts of the great sea, over against Lebanon, the Hittite and the Amorite and the Canaanite, the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Levite heard thereof. Chapter 2, verse 2, Shalakim, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord.
They said they gathered themselves together to do what?
Fight with Joshua.
They wanted to get on board. And they knew, like I said a long time, it's like it's either get down. At this point, it's either get down or lay down.
Yes, sir.
So we coming through. When the Lord's on our side, we gonna conquer. So it's either gonna get down or you gonna lay down. It's like really no option. You ain't gonna win coming against us, right?
That's right.
And they was like, okay, we hear it's going down. They burning cities, they destroying things, and they on their way to our city next. And it said the against Lebanon, the Hivite, the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite heard, and they said we're gonna fight with Joshua. Let's make an alliance with these people, right? Go ahead, continue.
Let's try 2, sir.
Come.
Joshua chapter 9, verse 2, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. Verse 3, and with the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and to Ai. Verse 3, they did work willingly.
Right, so they did work. So they heard what happened to Jericho and Ai, and they willingly. If you look at the definition, it just means sneaky or like basically sneaky or sly. They up to something, right? They got a hidden agenda. Go ahead.
And went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their asses and wine bottles old and rent and bound up. Verse 5.
Right, hold on. No, keep going.
And old shoes and cloth upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all bread and their provisions was dry and moldy.
Right. So these little Hamites gonna come up over here and make themselves seem like it's their ambassadors, meaning that they come from a land. We coming to make peace to you, like the kings came to them, right? We coming to make it seem like we gonna come make peace to you, but they got a secret agenda on their mind, right? But they coming with old clothes, old bread, moldy bread. They coming with empty wine bottles that look like wine, like with wine residue in them. You see what I'm saying? This is how they coming. They coming broke, busted, and disgusted. That's how they looking, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's how they coming. just like a Hamite does today. So like, but and you know, they came into Joshua. Go ahead, read on verse 6.
Verse 6, and they went to Joshua unto the camp at Gilgal, and said unto him and to the men of Israel, we be come from a far country.
So they made it sound like they came from this far away place. Right? Go ahead.
Now therefore make ye a league with us.
They came from this look. They coming with. Ain't that how Hamites come into your inbox on Facebook? They be like, they come in looking like just dusty sandals and legs, ashes, looking like just trash. And then they be like, can you send me some money? Can you do this and that? I be like, man, if you block, get out my inbox asking me for something. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's how they came to Joshua. They came to Joshua saying, make league. They came all this way. They ain't got nothing to offer, but saying gonna make league with us. Be in alliance with us. That's what make league means, right? Being in alliance with us. Right? Go ahead.
Joshua chapter 9, verse 7. And when the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, peradventure ye dwell among us, and how shall we make a league with you?
Right. So let's think ahead. All right, let's just say this peradventure means, like, let's just say we do let you join with us. How you gonna dwell with us? Why would we make league with you? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 8. And they said unto Joshua, we are thy servants. And Joshua said unto them, who are ye?
Yeah, he like, we are servants. He like, who are you even? Like, like, we don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you? What land do you come from? Who's your king? And you know, what's going on? Like, who are you? That's come out of nowhere looking like like, you know, picture that. You sitting up there and somebody coming to you walking down the street, somebody coming to you say, be in alliance with me. You know, I'm your servant. You're like, hold on, wait, slow down. Why would I think, if I did make you my servant, like, what, why? And then who are you even? You see what I'm saying? That's how Joshua was coming at it. Right? Go ahead.
And from whence come ye?
And who are you and where do you even come from? Where do you come from? So like, that's funny to me. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And they said unto him, from a very far country, thy servants are come.
They lying.
Yes,
they came from right around the corner. Go ahead.
Because of the name of the Lord thy God, for we have heard the fame of him and all that he did in Egypt.
Right. So now they saying, now they knowing, it's like now they said finally why they came. They heard of all the things that we're doing. Like I said, the Lord said he will make he said I'll lay my honor among Pharaoh. The Lord said, I'm gonna make my name known in this land. And everybody's hearing of the power of the Lord. See, now you don't hear too much about the power of the Lord, and the white man, it's like an person has made it so hard for you to even believe in your God. Because he makes it seem like he's the almighty power. That he runs this earth. And it makes it hard for you to believe. You're like, man, it's just a make-believe story. Because he then doused it with action figures and superheroes. It makes you think that type of stuff is make-believe. When in actuality, the Lord is all powerful. And when he was on your side, like right now, you're not on your side because you're sinning against him. And his curses are upon you for sinning against the Lord. But when he was on your side, they feared you. They respected you. And it was the respect that you deserved. You see what I'm saying? It's the respect that was required. You couldn't, wherever you walked, you were respected. Not how you walk around today and you looked at it as that nation that's not desired. When you looked at it as that spit, that nigger, that wetback, or that red skin. You see what I'm saying? That's right. You was walking around looking like that is the Israelite. And it was the fear of, I say this all the time, they had the fear, and this is the fear we need to get back. They didn't have the fear to where they were scared and wanted to kill you. They had the fear where they were scared and wanted to give you anything you wanted. You got first class citizenship, whatever the heck it is. You got the top notch of everything because they was turning on their own people for you. You know what I'm saying? They was turning on their own people just to help you because they knew who you was. They had the fear of the Lord in them. That's what they had. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want. That's what you want to do. You want to command that respect where you go. And keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, coming back to your heritage, knowing who you were before time, where you would never know this, not reading back on the things that were written before time, you would think that you just how they tell you are nowadays, a nobody. You would be just thinking how what you see on the news. Black man gunned down in the street. No justice served. You see what I mean? That's how you would walk around thinking of yourself. But reading this, you would come back and know that, man, I am still this. And my people were once like this. And you will start to build and restore that mindset into your children, into yourself, and you will start to walk that and rebuild and restore that mindset into others. And when others start gaining that mindset, that's when we start coming back together as to who we once were. See what I'm saying?
Right.
It runs that deep. You see what I'm saying? It runs that deep. Go ahead, continue.
Joshua chapter 9, verse 10. And all that he did to the two kings of the Amorites that were beyond Jordan, to Sihon, king of Heshbon, and to Og, king of Bashan, which was at Ashtaroth. Verse 11. Wherefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spake to us, saying, Take victuals with you for the journey, and go to meet them, and say unto them, We are your servants, therefore now make ye a league with us.
Right. So they basically just trying to get in good. That's basically what's going on. They're trying to name drop and say that let us be your servants, right? That's their whole purpose of coming like how they came. Right? Pity party, wanting to get some sympathy and wanting to be in league with the Israelites, right? Go ahead, continue.
Verse 12. This our bread we took hot for our provisions out of our houses on the day we came forth to go unto you, but now it is dry and it is moldy. Verse 13. And these bottles of wine which we filled were new, and behold, they be rent, as these our garments and our shoes are become old by reason of the very long journey.
Right. So they basically saying, look, we came to bring you this wine, we came to bring you these clothes, something to offer you, but due to our long journey, they got destroyed. They're lying. Right? Go ahead.
Is it question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 14. And the men took of the victuals and asked not counsel at the mouth of the Lord. Verse 15. And Joshua made peace with them and made a league with them to let them live. And the princes of the congregation sware unto them. Verse 16. And it came to pass at the end of 3 days, after they had made a league with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors, and that they dwelt among them. Verse 17. And the children of Israel journeyed and came unto the cities on the 3rd day. Now their cities were Gibeon and Shepherah and Leroth and Kiriath. Irim?
What verse you at?
17, sir, at the end of 17.
Just go ahead. Keep going. 18.
Verse 18. And the children of Israel smote them not, because the princes of the congregation had sworn unto them by the Lord God of Israel.
Okay, look. So let me bring y'all up to speed. What's going on? So what happened is the princes of our nation was like, okay, y'all good. We gonna make league with y'all. Y'all good, right? And we didn't kill them. But we come later to find out that they was lying. right? But the princes have already sworn to the Lord God. That's what they wanted. They wanted you because they know what type of people we are. We are people of our word. We are righteous people, rather than the stereotype they're trying to project on us now. They knew that we are righteous people, we're men of our word, and when we swear something to the Lord, we got to keep it. And we gonna keep it, right?
That's right.
And the princes swore, so they said, okay, we can't do nothing to you. We swore that we won't kill y'all or nothing. But we found out that they was being trickery, right? But there is something we can do to you, though. Since we can't kill you, there is something we can do to you. This is what it's going to be, right? Go ahead, continue.
And all the congregation murmured against the princes.
Right, so they was a little bit upset about that. Like, like, dang, why'd y'all do this? Like, feeling kind of played in a sense. Go ahead.
Verse 19. But the prince said unto all the congregation, we have sworn unto them by the Lord God of Israel. Now, therefore, we may not touch them. Verse 20. This we will do to them. We will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us because of the oath which we have swear unto them.
Right, so we feared the Lord more than anything. Look, we gonna let them live, because the wrath that's gonna come upon us for breaking the oath that we made with the Lord our God is worse than letting these funky Hamites live. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we like, okay, we gonna let them live. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 21. And the princes said unto them, let them live, but let them be hewers of wood and drawers of water unto all the congregation.
Right. Let them live. Let them be hewers of wood. Let them be our carpet. Let them be the brothers the heathens that go gather our wood and they bring us water. See what I'm saying? That's what we're gonna make them. We're gonna make them work. Right? Go ahead.
As the princes have promised them. Verse 22. And Joshua called for them, and he spake unto them, saying, wherefore have ye beguiled us?
Yeah, why you think you gonna get over on us? Right? Go ahead.
Saying, we are very far from you, when ye dwell amongst us.
Yeah. Why you gonna lie and say you far from us and you dwelling right here? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 23. Now therefore ye are cursed.
Right. So he cursed them. Now you're gonna be cursed. Right? Go ahead.
And there shall none of you be free from being bondmen.
Mm-hmm. None of y'all gonna be free. You are cursed. You gonna be slaves to us, and none of y'all shall be free. Right? Go ahead.
And hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 24. And they answered Joshua and said, because it was certainly told thy servants how the Lord thy God commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you.
Right. So they said, okay, that's fine. He said, I'll take that, because we heard about how the Lord your God gave Moses and you the order to destroy all the land that's before you. And we'd rather be alive serving you than to be dead. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's the type of fear you get when the Lord is on your side. I'm trying to instill that in your mind. The power of the Lord is mighty. It's wonderful and it's terrible.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
No,
and they said we would rather serve you than to die, because we know what's coming for us. If we don't get with it, or we're gonna get lost. You know what I mean? Right. That's what's gonna happen.
Right.
And that's what you want to incorporate into today. You want it. You want your reputation and who you are as a people to be made famous. And with that, You want the Lord's name to ring bells, because nowadays they spitting on the name of the Lord in so many different ways. Just by having a Christian church up is disrespectful to the Lord. Just by you thinking that God don't exist is disrespectful to the Lord. You questioning why God did this and why God did that, and if He could have just did it like this, is disrespectful to the Lord. See what I'm saying? It is. It's like your kids questioning you on why you gave them Kool-Aid Jammers and not Capri Suns. You're like, you gonna get what I gave you. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Go ahead, continue.
Therefore, we were sore afraid of our lives because of you, and have done this thing.
Drop down to 27.
And I will come. And Joshua made, verse 27, and Joshua made them that day hewers of wood and drawers of water for the congregation and for the altar of the Lord, even unto this day, in the place which he should choose.
Right, so Joshua heard all that, told him, asked him why, they gave him an explanation. He said, I will make y'all gonna be hewers of wood and and drawers of water all y'all days, and y'all children too. You know what I'm saying? All y'all days. You know what I'm saying? We would have never made leave with them if we knew who they was. I see the question is, was Christ mentioned in the Old Testament? Christ was mentioned in the Old Testament. Yashar Kwan. Can you show me where Christ is mentioned in the Old Testament? Yeah, I can show you where Christ is mentioned in the Old Testament. It's crazy this brother brought this up, because I was just debating with somebody online today about Christ being mentioned in the Old Testament. Let me get there real quick. Let's start with, I'm going to answer these questions real quick. It's important. Let me get it real quick, my little notes on it. Okay. Christ being mentioned in the Old Testament, right? Give me Isaiah 9 and 6. Isaiah chapter 9 and 6, they say, a lot of Old Testament Israelites try to say Christ is fake. Christ that never lived. He never was born. And, you want to use the Old Testament to cut them and debunk their doctrine, because Christ is, he was prophesied in the Old Testament, all throughout the Old Testament, right? Isaiah 9 and 6. Read it when you got it, double shot.
Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder.
So unto this son that's born, the government will be upon his shoulders. Meaning what? He's gonna hold a high rank, right? Go ahead.
And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Right. That's what his name shall be called. And keep reading. Keep reading.
Verse 7. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever.
Right. So they're saying the kingdom of this son will last forever. Right? And he's going to come and sit on the throne of David. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? Go ahead. Continue.
The zeal of the Most High of hosts will perform this.
Right. So give me Matthew 1. Matthew 1. So this says, let's see who this son is, right? Go back to Matthew.
Matthew chapter 1, verse 1. The book of the generations of Yahushua, Christ, the son of David.
What? The what?
Generation of Yahushua, Christ, the son of David.
The son of who?
The son of David.
Now we just read in that precept, he said he would sit on David's throne, right?
Right.
Right now, this Give me drop down to 18. So Christ, so you mean to tell me that Christ is referenced as the son of David? Go ahead, give me 18.
Verse 18. Now the birth of Yahushua Christ was on the wise, when as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together. She was found with child of the Holy Ghost.
Right, yeah, found the child of the Holy Spirit, right? And that's how we know he said, it's like that priest said that the officer just read, he shall what? The zeal of the Lord, right? He shall have the zeal of the Lord. Give me Matthew 1 and 21.
Matthew 1, verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua, for he shall save his people from their sins.
Right, so he shall save his people. This is that bringer of peace, right? That he shall be called, right? It's referencing to that name. Another precept what we're going to get. Give me 2 Samuel 7 and 12. Christ mentioned in the Old Testament right here.
2 Samuel 7 and verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers.
This is the Lord speaking to David on his deathbed. For those who don't know, go ahead.
I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels.
I'm going to set up the seed after you, which is going to come from your lineage, David, which we just read in Matthew 1 and 20. Matthew 1 and 1, the book of the generations of Yahushua, the son of David, letting you know that he came from David, right? So he said, I'm gonna set up the generations after you from your seed, right? Go ahead.
And I will establish his kingdom. Verse 13. He shall build an house for my name,
right?
And I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 14. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men.
Right.
Verse 15. But my mercy shall not depart away from him.
Right. Give me and thy house and thy kingdom shall be established forever. It's like might be a couple verses down. Maybe
verse 16.
Right.
And thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before thee.
Right. This is all referencing to Christ. When it says the kingdom come, thy will be done in earth. When it's referencing, when you read about Christ in the New Testament, I'm going into the Old Testament. When you read about Christ in the New Testament, and they talk about Christ coming back, they saying Christ will rule and reign forever. His kingdom is the son of God. You see what I'm saying? They reference him as these names. They reference him as the Savior. You know what I'm saying? The bringer of peace, Shiloh. You see what I'm saying? They reference him as these things because, and they say his kingdom will come forever. Whose kingdom in the New Testament, in the Old Testament, lasted forever? Whose? Tell me one. Nobody. Not Moses. Nobody's reign lasted forever. So they must be referencing somebody to come, right?
That's right.
They must be referencing somebody to come. So they're talking about somebody who's going to be this peaceful, who's going to be a wise, who's going to be a counselor, who's going to be this righteous man and have a full zeal of the Lord. Who's going to command the Lord's army, the host of the Lord's army, talking about them 200 million angels that's going to crack that sky. Who's going to be leading that? Who's going to be leading that? That's referenced in the New Testament. Yahushua. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So these are all references to Yahushua. Where we at? I'm gonna give me I got some more. Hold on. Isaiah 11 and 1 through 12.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Who's Jesse? For anybody who don't know, who's Jesse? Go ahead, sir.
David's father.
That's David's father. So a branch shall come out of Jesse. So if David is David's father, that's all the lineage. So Jesse is David's father, and it trickles on down to Yahushua, right? Go ahead.
Oh, Salah. And the spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him. The spirit of wisdom and understanding.
Right.
The spirit of counsel.
Right.
And might. The spirit of knowledge and of fear of the Most High.
Right. So Yahushua had full, if y'all know, when we read the precepts coming in the New Testament, Yahushua had full measure of the spirit of the Lord. You know, some brothers had measure of just wisdom, some brothers had measure of just workmanship, and some brothers have measure of many different things. You know, the way the spirit of the Lord is on them in different ways, right? Some brothers is good counselors, some brothers is just good shamar. Some brothers, you know, the spirit is on them in different ways. But it's all the spirit of the Lord, it's all that zeal. Christ had his spirit in innumerable measure, right? Go ahead, read that part one more time.
Verse 2.
The spirit of wisdom and understanding, and the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of the knowledge and of the fear of the Most High. Right.
So Christ, what did Christ come and what was he doing when he was walking through the earth? Christ was checking and correcting and giving out wisdom and performing miracles and doing wondrous things for his people, right? This is what Christ was doing. This is all references to Christ. You see what I'm saying? Because who was doing this? No, this is speaking of future tense. This is speaking of something that will happen. Continue reading.
Verse 3, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Most High.
Right. Yahushua knew to get down when he was young. He was in the temple checking and correcting people when he was young.
That's right.
Yeah, you know the account I'm talking about? When he went up in there and they was in there buying and selling in the Lord's temple, and he flipped over the table. He was young at that time. Flipped over the table and whipped them with a whip and cast them out. Said, "This don't make the Lord's house as a market or something like that." Go ahead, sir.
I believe he said the word of the Most High is not for sale, and he beat him with the cat of nine tails.
Right, and he was whipping a grown man, a young buck, flipping over that table like, "Nah, y'all not finna." He had the spirit, the full measure from a young age. Who else was doing this? If you read the accounts of Yahushua, these scriptures will make perfect sense to you. You see what I'm saying? You'll understand, oh, this is referencing Christ. This is referencing, they talking about Christ. Because ain't nobody else did this but Christ. Ain't nobody else was moving like this but him, or had the prophecies talked about but him. You see what I'm saying? So Christ was referencing the Old Testament, and Christ is prophesied in the Old Testament of how he will be this great man to save his people and establish the kingdom of Israel forever.
Right.
And he will rule. The government will be on his shoulders. Right? Go ahead, continue reading on that. Just keep going.
And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes.
Right, so he ain't gonna judge just off of what he see, right? How he gonna judge?
Neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. Verse 4, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor.
Right.
And reprove with equity for the meek of the earth.
Right, so like for example, when all the Israelites came to stone that whore, and he said, whosoever has not sinned, cast a stone. I'm paraphrasing the account. If y'all know what I'm talking about. It was all about to stone this lady for doing wrong. He said, whosoever has not done wrong, then you can throw the stone and kill this woman. If you have not sinned against the Lord, then you can throw the stone. And everybody wasn't able to throw the stone because everybody sinned against the Lord. That's why if you would just go off what he just heard, off what he just seen, and they were telling, oh, she's an adulteress, she need to be killed. Then he was judged. He was just killed that lady. Let him kill her. But no, he checked and corrected, not off what he just seen, not off what he just heard, but off of righteousness. You see what I'm saying? That's right. How they're describing Christ. Go ahead.
And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked.
Right. Cutting, correcting, and checking and hurting nations just by this. Just by this. He hurt the Roman Empire by what he was doing. He was waking up Israelites. Their rule and their reign and their control over the Israelites was being unlifted because of what Christ was doing. They said, "Oh no, this is really our king, not this Caesar or whatever, whoever the Ptolemy or whatever the dude's name was at the time, not him, but he's the leader of the Jews, not these fake scribes and Pharisees. This is the truth right here with him. Right. He was destroying nations with his tongue and his action. See what I'm saying? Who else was doing this? Right? No one. Go ahead. Continue.
Verse 5. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. Verse 6.
Because he was righteous every single day of his life, and he was faithful until his death. Right? He stayed true and faithful to the Lord until his death. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 6. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. Verse 7.
Right, hold on. That's a heavy precept. It's describing what we read in Isaiah 9:6, how he gonna bring the nation of Israel together. He said the wolf shall lie with the lamb. If you read that one more time, if you pay attention, it's the predator and the prey. People from opposite background. He's saying how he gonna bring them together. Go ahead, I'm gonna break it down for you.
Verse 6. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb.
The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, but in natural habitation, the wolf can't dwell with the lamb. They can't come together. But through the spirit and the brotherhood of Christ, the wolf and the lamb shall dwell together. Right? Go ahead.
And the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion, and the fatling together. Right. And a little child shall lead them.
Right. So he said, I'm gonna bring brothers from all different types of backgrounds. The brother that's a wolf might be a brother that was in the streets. And then a brother that's a lamb might be a brother that was into gaming. You know what I'm saying? But now we can use that brother as that soldier. We can use this brother for our advancement in the social media department or technical issues that we might have. You see what I'm saying? And you're gonna bring them together. We're gonna all come together in the unity and the brotherhood. That's what Christ is coming to establish. I'm gonna bring all this together. The wolf, the lamb, the leopard, and the kid, no matter what background, all brothers is gonna come together as one. Right. Through the spirit of Christ, right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. Verse 8.
More so speaking on how we all gonna eat the same. The lions don't eat straw. Lions eat cantaloupe and stuff like that. He's saying, but no, the lions gonna come together and y'all gonna break bread and be on one accord. You see what I mean? That's what it's saying. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the ass, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den.
Right, that's it on that. Do I need to pull more to prove that Yahweh was in the Old Testament? I got a couple more. You know what? Hold on, let me see. Give me Genesis 49:10. It's more so proving how Yahweh is mentioned in the Old Testament.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah,
right?
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and until him shall the gathering of the people be.
Right, like we just read, the gathering of the people be, the lion and the lamb. All the people shall gather together in the spirit of Yahweh. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. We're going to gather together in the spirit of Yahweh. Go ahead and continue. Shiloh is mentioning of what? Yahweh. That's a reference to him. Go ahead.
Verse 11. binding is foil unto the bond, and his ass's coat unto the choicest bond, unto the choice bond. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in blood of grapes.
Right. This is speaking of when Yahawashi come back with the Lord, the host of the Lord, and he's destroying the earth. He said his garment is going to be look like it's dipped in wine. What color is wine? Usually, not no Moscato or nothing. What color is, you get some wine, what color is wine? Go ahead.
Red.
Red. His garment is going to be look like it's dipped in wine. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine.
His eyes shall be red with wine. Right? Go ahead.
And his teeth white with milk.
This is describing that Shiloh character that they just spoke about in 10. He's going to come with a garment dipped in blood or dipped in wine, looking like it's dipped in wine. Eyes going to be red. Where else have you seen the description of Christ is talking about his eyes being red? Revelation, the 1st chapter. You see what I'm saying? Revelation, the 1st chapter speaks of how Christ's eyes will be red. Matter of fact, pull it. Revelations 1 and 14. It started at 1 and 1. Go ahead, sir.
13.
1 and 13. Come.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
Can you read 1 just real quick?
Oh, sorry. Revelation 1 and 1. The revelation of Yahawashi.
That's all I needed. The revelation, the revealing of Yahawashi. Right? Go ahead, sir.
Which the Most High gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
So this is John, the Lord, John receiving from an angel the revelation of Christ and what's going to happen in times to come. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. Who bear record the word of the Most High and of the testimony of Yahawashi and of all things that he saw. Verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy,
right? So, and
keep those things which are written therein.
Right. So blessed is he that reads this and hears it. So you can read something but don't hear it. You know what I'm saying? You can read something and not know. Like people have read, like Old Testament only Israelites have read about Yahawashi, and they don't hear it. They don't believe it. And so their destruction will fall upon them as well. Right? Go ahead.
For the time is at hand. Verse 4. John, to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace be unto you.
Can you start at 13?
Verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks.
Now this is a description of Christ. Go ahead.
One like unto the Son of Man.
Remember that they call him like unto the Son of Man. Remember that. That's a strong reference to Christ in the scriptures. The Son of Man. Go ahead.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
Right. So he had a garment down to the foot. Go ahead.
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Right. So he said, remember how he said he was a path of righteousness. We read that in another precept too, but it's describing his garment right now. Go ahead.
Verse 14. His head and his hair were like wool.
Right. So this is the description of Christ. Right. Go ahead.
As white as snow.
His hair on his head was white as snow. Go ahead. And there's a texture of wool. Most Israelites have a woolly hair texture. Or am I saying that right? A woolly hair texture. A hair texture that's similar to wool. That's a better way to put it. Go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Right. What color is fire? In the previous chapter we just read, his eyes was red like he'd been drinking wine. Right now we read his eyes is the flame of fire. What color is the flame of fire? Anyway, Shadow Rock got a flame of fire on his shirt right now. Go ahead. Red. That's how you know that what we read in Genesis 49 is talking about the same person. You see what I'm saying? Through the descriptions, right?
That's right.
Go ahead. Let's get the color of Christ. Get the color of Christ too. Might as well. Go ahead.
Verse 15. and his feet like unto fine brass.
His feet like unto fine brass. What color is brass? Anybody got a penny in their pocket? Oh, right here. Boom. Brass, right? Fine brass. Then what? What else is it going to describe? So this is like a brown in texture.
As if they were burned in the furnace.
Right. So this brass as if it was burned in a furnace. So it's already brown, but then you burn something. What color is that? Go ahead. Black. You burn anything, it's gonna turn black. I can burn this white napkin right here. It's gonna turn black.
That's right.
But he's just letting you know he's a black man that was darker skinned. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because this brother's in here is brass complected, but he was darker than that. But he was brass, but he was dark black. He was a darker black man with white hair and eyes that were red. That's why when we see the pictures of Christ, it look kind of scary. They say he was an austere man. He ain't this soft-eyed, lovey-dovey person that they depict to you. The Christian church don't teach you this. They teach you he was that type of soft-eyed, warm-hearted man. This man was a soldier.
Right.
and he walked and taught the work of the Lord, and just by his presence demanded respect. He was on a mission. He couldn't come looking like Prince. You know what I'm saying? Like he couldn't come looking like Prince. He had to come looking like a man, a real revolutionary. He had to turn. Like he came from Nazareth, which was the ghetto, which was one of our ghetto. Think of the most horrible place in the United States today. He came from there, right? And he had to turn people that from his neighborhood, people like him, into righteous men of the Lord. People that was in the ghettos getting high, he had to turn them into righteous men of the Lord. Ain't no Prince looking Negro finna do that. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nobody walking around with looking like soft gonna do that. You know what I mean? But Yahushua did. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't looking soft, but he turned. He saved Israel from their destruction. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, remember that Son of Man part. Give me Daniel 7:9. Back to the Old Testament to show you a reference of Christ. Daniel 7:13. So 9 is This is 7-9 is describing the Lord, and 7-13 is describing Yahushua. So if you want to know the depiction of why we call the Lord a black man, read Daniel 7:9. If you want to know why we call Yahushua a black man, read Daniel 7:13 and Revelation 1:13 through 15. Right? Daniel 7:9. Anybody? How much time I got? I got 8 minutes. We just stick on this to the end of class.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
Right. This is the same description. Right? Same description as Genesis 49. Same description as Revelation. Go ahead.
His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels.
Oh, that's like this is depicting Yahweh. I mean, this is depicting Yahweh, the Most High. Drop down to 13 so we can get Christ.
Verse 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man.
Whoa, one like the Son of Man, right? Because didn't John say he's seen in the midst of 7 candlesticks, one like the Son of Man? That's right. Back in Revelation. Right. This is back in the Old Testament, right? This is why the Bible is a compiled book. You can't just read one part of it and, you know what I'm saying, and think that you got the whole truth. It's a book for a reason, God damn it. Salakia.
That's right.
I was debating with this person online earlier, like, it's a whole book. How you gonna just read? I was like me reading chapter 1 of a book and being like, oh, I know the whole story, it's all I need. You don't know what happens in the end. How you know the whole truth? How you gonna say you in the truth? You just read one section of the book. Right. Come on now. You don't realize how shallow you sound You don't try to tell me get in class on the beginning.
Yeah, wow.
You don't know how shallow you sound. You don't know how much of a dummy you sound, how foolish you really sound. You know what I mean? And I try to break it down to him, pulling the same scripts I'm pulling right now. And he, you know, I thought, hey, I'm done. You just want to argue. You ain't trying to really hear nothing. If you was to cut me, I'm cut. But you ain't gonna cut me. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what I'm talking about. I'm trained in these scriptures, and I study to show myself approved for times like this. Somebody want to have a question in class, I can be able to answer their question. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But continue on that, please, Brother Kashad.
One like the Son of Man.
He called him the Son of Man, just like John called him the Son of Man.
This
is Daniel. Years before John was even born. This is Daniel. He having a vision from an angel, just like John had a vision from the angel. And he's seeing the same goddamn thing, a vision. They say, oh, like the Son of Man. Right? Go ahead.
Came with the clouds of heaven.
He came with some chariots. Go ahead.
And came to the Ancient of Days.
So the Son of Man came to the Ancient of Days. So in Daniel 7 and 9 describes the Ancient of Days. So he's seen Yahushua come to Yahweh. This is what Daniel's seen. He's seen Yahushua come to Yahweh. Go ahead.
And they brought him near before him. Verse 14. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him.
Right. This is speaking of what we read in Isaiah 11, Isaiah 9, speaking of how he's going to gather together the nations and the governments, and it's going to be his kingdom that's going to last forever. What Daniel is visioning right now, he's seeing, which is a glorious vision. He's seeing Yahushua basically get anointed. You see what I'm saying? That's what he's seeing. He said, and there was given to he said he's seen this one like unto the Son of Man coming to the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days is the Most High. And he said, and there was given to him dominion. Right? So Yahushua is receiving a blessing from the Ancient of Days. Right? Go ahead, continue.
Should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion.
We read in multiple precepts before. His kingdom, it will be an everlasting kingdom. Go ahead.
Which shall not pass away, and his kingdom, that which shall not be destroyed.
That's it. That's it. Yahushua is referenced in the Old Testament. Yahushua is prophesied in the Old Testament, and his accounts in the New Testament are relevant and glorious and should be read and learned from. You see what I'm saying? It'll teach you. It'll teach you. Do I need any more? I think I'm short on time. Now, we gonna clip the class. If you don't get it, just hit me in my inbox. I'll give you some more. Because there's a couple more I can show you. You know what I mean? But with that, tune in, like and subscribe. Like this how Facebook was crashing. That's why you like and subscribe to YouTube. So that way you can have that avenue to keep the class fully rolling and understand that, you coming in here to serve the Lord. You're trying to teach brothers and sisters how to properly serve the Lord and to understand who they are. Like and subscribe. Share the classes. Promote this truth. Get in class. Call your camp leader. Hit a brother up like me. Karates Al Yahweh on Facebook or any other brother that you might see in the UPK. They'll plug you in. Right? And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer SHALAM. If I could, so it's like, I think the security announcement.
I got it.
You got it?
Right there.
Good try, sir.
We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew ma'ishra. 10% of every penny of any increase from the Most High gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher.
Pay your tithes.
Priest fund. Free will offering for priests. Not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like.
The next high holy day, I believe, is I think it's the blowing. Hold on, I got it right here. It's one of them. Feast of Tabernacles or the blowing of the trumpets. Can you look right there for me? Somebody look right there on the wall. It should be in September.
Might be atonement.
Memorial of the blowing of the trumpet.
The blowing of the trumpet. That's the next one. What day is it?
Thursday, September 17th.
Right.
Next high holy day, the blowing of the trumpets, September 17th. Check the bulletin board in the hallway if you need to know what holy convocation is coming up. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf.
Right.
And with that, I'm going to say, men of Israel, Elijah. We're going to face the teacher and give him a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, face the teacher. Omajim Shabbat. Omajim. Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Barak. Men of Israel, Sark to the sisters. Men of Israel, Omajim Shabbat. No, Salaki, sisters, rise. Men of Israel, Omajim Shabbat. Omajim. Barak, Yahweh Shemal, and Athah Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Shalom Yahweh, Shamar, Elathan, Hashem Yahweh.
And with that, Yadi Matat, dismissed.
Very much.